Thank you so much to Guy Mowbray and the team. If you want to keep listening to that FA Cup fixture between Grimsby and Wolves, just tune in now to 5 Live Sport. But our focus here on Sports Extra 2 on BBC Sounds is the final match in round 2 of the Six Nations. Wales against France. My name's Sarah Orchard, and joining with me here today at the Principality Stadium, I'm delighted to say, just the 57 Wales caps, it is Alex Cuthbert. How are you?
Yeah, good afternoon, Zara. Yeah, very well, thank you. Looking forward to this game. Albeit a little bit, I'm a little bit nervous,
okay,
but I'm excited. We're about to see a world-class team in France and a resurgent Wales. Will they react from that thumping last week?
Yeah, there's a certain amount of reality that we are just having to accept now when it comes to Wales rugby, and I've been asking a lot of people about what is acceptable now when it comes to this Six Nations, when it comes to a performance from Wales. We're just waiting for the to appear out of the tunnel, so we'll run you through the lineups in a moment. But is it a matter of, I didn't see the performance at Twickenham coming. I just didn't see it. I thought Wales had just that bit more fight, and they just seemed to crumple. It was almost like it was a habit to lose. Yeah,
they didn't show anything, did they? The momentum was just constantly with England. What I didn't like was just, I spoke to Dorse about it in terms of, like, you know, that momentum. How do we stop it? How do we shift it back into Wales's favour? But it was just constantly one way, and that comes with, you know, top 2 inches, the emotion, the fights. There just wasn't anything. And I've been pretty critical this week of the team, and I'm really hoping to see a little bit more of that, albeit we've got to be realistic. Wales are playing an absolute mountain of a team in France, and very confident team as well.
Yeah, mountain of a team, currently ranked 4th in the world. Wales down in 11th, and France now the only side in this competition who could be on for a Grand Slam. If you haven't looked at a Six Nations table this morning, do go and have a look, because it is now fascinating. Scotland are at the top. They've got 6 points. In second place is England with 5, then France on 5. Obviously, they're still to play today. Italy on 4th, they've got 5 points. Ireland, they're in 5th with their 4 points, and Wales with none at the bottom. It is going to be such a scrap now in those top 5 positions. I'm sorry I'm not including Wales in that mix at the moment, but it is going to be absolutely brilliant to see what happens from here on in.
This is why we love the Six Nations. How quickly does 1 week just change momentum? Scotland losing out in Italy and then winning an unbelievable result against England, and then Italy probably should have beaten Ireland. You know, they are still in it as well, so all to play for, and with the change of schedule with 3 games in a row, that's really going to change it as well.
Yeah, don't forget, we're not having a nice break for half term. No, all parents, we are ploughing straight through with full-time work and childcare duties, because there is another round of Six Nations coming next weekend. Then we all get a little break, and the kids will be back at school, so it's not too bad, is it?
I'm going to be surviving this week. I'm going to be surviving.
We all will just about. Right then, the teams are about to emerge. The Welsh Dragon is firing on the screen in front of us here at the Principality. We can see Dowie Lake up on the big screen, ready to come through. Antoine Dupont is leading out his French side. They're wearing their white tracksuits as they come out, and the flamethrowers go off in front of us. And there is a special moment for 2 Frenchmen, Charles Olivon and Julien Marchand, as they lead out the French side, because they have their 50th caps today. Principality welcomes both sides. There has been so much made in the build-up to this fixture. Remember, this is a capacity 74,500 seat stadium, and as I look round, there are big pockets of empty seats. Now, that isn't just a problem for when it comes to atmosphere, it's a problem going forward financially if this is a continuing habit that the Welsh rugby public don't keep coming out to support the team. There was perhaps a little bit of hope that maybe more people could come and see an incredible French performance today, but Welsh rugby needs the support.
Yeah, 100%. I've not seen a stadium quite... it's not empty, no. But there are some big pockets against a team who, for me, are one of the most exciting teams to watch. This is the knock-on effect of obviously not winning, I think, in 20 odd, in 3 years in the Six Nations, isn't it, at home?
Okay, we are about to have the anthems, and the Principality will recite to respect. from the BBC. We're about to bring you Wales against France in the Six Nations. Coming up next, the Welsh anthem.
Starting from Principality Stadium, are you ready for your moment? Dyma eich amser chi. Canwch gyda angen. Please now join us and sing with pride. Ein anthem genedlaethol ni, the Welsh National Anthem. Hen Wlad fy Hanner.
Principality Stadium has made their voice heard. So inspiring. But I have to say, Alex Cuthbert, there's a lot of French in there.
Yeah, sorry, I composed myself after that. It was a pretty good rendition. Yeah, there are a lot of French. We're surrounded by a few, aren't we? They're pretty loud. They're going to travel on. They're a team. They're an exciting team to watch. There's a lot of pockets of blue. So, you know, for Wales, it's massive. This first 20, just to try and quiet those pockets down, is massive.
Right then, let's run you through the lineup. Starting with France, just two changes to the starting 15 that beat Ireland last week at the Stade de France. Continuing at full-back, it's Thomas Ramos on the wings, Tio Atisogbe and Louis Barry continue. But it is that exciting centre partnership. There are injuries to Nicolas Defatois and Yoram Mofana. So that means we get to see Emile Gayton come in and wear 13. And Fabien Brau-Boire, he's making his debut wearing 12. They both play together at Pau. Into the half-back pairing of Mathieu Jalibert and Antoine Dupont, who continue. And then the front row, no changes. Jean-Baptiste Gros, Julien Marchand and Dorian Aladeguerri. Into the engine room, it's Charles Olivot and Michael Guillard. And then the back row made up of Francois Cross, Oscar Jago, Anthony Jalonge wearing 8. Moving on to Wales, there are more changes, 4 in total and 1 positional. Lewis Rees-Zammit wears 15 with Ellis Mee and Josh Adams on the wings. Eddie James now, he's going to be partnering up with Joe Hawkins, who comes in to wear 12, so no Ben Thomas. We've got Dan Edwards at 10 with Thomas Williams at 9. A change of props with Rhys Carre and Thomas Francis both starting alongside Dowie Lake, who continues his captaincy at hooker. And then into the engine room, David Jenkins and Adam Beard, no changes there. Aaron Wainwright wears 6 with Alex Mann, he changes from 6 to 7, and Ollie Cracknell comes in at 8. Right, we are about to get underway here. Wales are going to be kicking us off. They're travelling from left to right, and in the middle of the pitch at the moment, James Dolman of New Zealand gets us underway. Dan Edwards sends the ball down the field, and it is gathered by France inside of their own 22. They are wearing their traditional royal blue shirts with white shorts and red socks. As Allez les Bleus rings out around the Principality straight away, as we see Lewis Rees-Zammit just tracking back to gather the ball back inside of the Welsh half, and he pushes towards the halfway line. If you're just joining us here on Sports Extra 2, you're listening to Six Nations commentary of Wales against France in round 2. Ball is gathered in the end by Eddie James on this near side. Wales stuck inside of their own half by about 5 metres. Dowie Lake, the captain, goes forward nicely over the gain line there by a metre as he just pumps through the tackle as the ball goes down to the ground. And Thomas Williams is just biding his time at the moment to slowly build some field position. Alongside me here, Alex Cuthbert watching, and so far a calm start.
Yeah, a good attempt from Wales early on to play and look to go for to width, and then, but obviously no gate, no field position, so they're just looking to get that win, that kick battle.
The first touch on the ball there for France, for Fabien Brau-Barret. As the ball goes down from the French out on the far side, as we get to see Oscar Jegu on the ball. He really impressed last week against Ireland, as Atisogbe is offering himself, just cuts back inside and he's off and away. Atisogbe passes back inside. This is worrying for France. They look absolutely deadly. Pass back inside and it is a French score. Only 1 minute 30 seconds on the clock and France have scored. The break was made by Atisogbe as they go down about 5 meters to the right hand side of the uprights, and it is Emir Gaiton, wearing 13, only his 12th cap today, who touches down for France.
Wow, what a start for France. It was a good kick initially from France, and then from Wales, sorry, is it good to compete, and then France went to width. It was a great read by Josh Adamson, now London fight, but no one's folded round, and Dupont has just literally gone straight through. And Atisogbe, but he's gone straight. Oh, look at that. Dupont out the back. Unbelievable bit of skill. And then it's just the flood. And Olivier is like another back row, isn't he, on that field? He's so fast, so physical. And then this man who's just come in today, Emilien Gaiton, what a season he is having, by the way.
Absolutely incredible, as we just watched Thomas Ramos line this one up. That's his bread and butter. So Ramos 5 conversions last week, and now he's taken another in the Six Nations. It's Wales 0, France 7. And of all the people that touched the ball in the build-up to that, who's the most impressive?
So Dupont has gone down a bit of a blind alley, and he's sort of just drawn in both Wales defenders, and just a little audacious flick out the back on a cut angle, and what a ball that was.
Well, there was rumours that Dupont was training in the centres for France this week, so we're going to be keeping a close eye on what he's up to.
Sorry, he could play anywhere. I tell you, he's a back row in the making when he gets older.
We'd love to see him packed down as well. You never know, it could happen. Right then, a little bit of deja vu as Rees Zammit just gathers the ball out on the left-hand side of the field. It's Wales 0, France 7. 3 minutes on the clock at the Principality. It wasn't a bad start from Wales. It was just an extremely impressive start from France. Edwards, high ball into the air, goes past the wires on Spider Cam as it lands back down on the far side. No knock-on, says our referee. Wales have it for the first time attacking inside of the French half. Lake driving forward. Really nice here from Wales. This is a strong position for them. Push down the line. Just seeing the Scarlets trying to make themselves known through Joe Hawkins. 15 metres out from the far side. As they push back towards the middle again, they're running out of options though, and they're going on their own. They can't isolate themselves, and over the top of that goes Francois Cross. Doesn't get the turnover though, as we see Wainwright just busting through, eventually dragged down by 2 French defenders. Middle of the field, nice popped off ball there by Alex Mann, wearing 7 today. He was at 6 last week. Thomas Williams just got around the referee there, slightly awkward position to get the pass away. As we see flying onto the floor goes Josh Adams, who's well pushed back. No. And this is the problem now. Wales have gone through a few phases and they've gone nowhere. They were going forward, and all of a sudden it's going backwards now. Yeah,
they've completely lost their shape now. They've gone back 10 yards. Thomas Williams is just trying to get a little bit further than the 15, which opens up both sides of the ball, but France have defended unbelievably well. So aggressive in the breakdown, it's too slow for Wales.
Ball comes back then for Edwards. He's going to land this one down inside of the French half. Not taken cleanly by Jalibert, but Atisogbe is there. And he pushes out towards the far side wing. Nice touch, pushing towards those edges. And France have just managed to keep the ball in play. As we just see Dupont trying to run himself out of trouble. Ends up in the hands of Jegu. He goes down to ground. Nice to see Wales competing there on the floor, just slowing down that French ball. As it's pushed backward to Jalibert once again. He's flirting on his own 22-metre line as he eventually puts boot to ball and sends it back to Rees Zammit. Sometimes at the moment, with the way we're playing rugby, it does feel a little bit repetitive in the passages of play you end up seeing. As it comes back once again to Mann.
Yeah, look at Wales, it's not quite quick enough to get into position, especially off transition.
Was it inside?
Edwards sends the ball down. And he's just put too much on that. The bounce of the ball was not kind there to Dan Edwards. As Thomas Ramos just watches the ball fly back, and a little bit of a nice slap on the head comes from Thomas Williams to Dan Edwards. So don't worry, mate, we got this.
Yeah, the difference already I can see in terms of the kick battle in this middle third, as we talk about in between the two tens, is that when Wales do win that ball, and we call it transition, they're just not organised quick enough, and they've got no width, whereas when France have it, they have a real opportunity straight away. We already see them make yards on edges, and they seem to just come alive, and Wales just seem to be a little bit slower than France at that period at the moment.
Okay, 6 minutes played. Wales 0, France 7. This is our first scrum of the match here at the Principality Stadium. And don't forget that Wales have brought in Rhys Carré and Thomas Francis to start here. Big moment for Thomas Francis. Of course, this is his first start since the 2023 World Cup. If you've been listening to the Scrum 5 podcast this week, I loved the questioning from the Welsh media. You came back from Provence for this. Which I think was all tongue-in-cheek and was taken very well, but he's got a big job to do here. And Wales have held that up, but it is France who come away with it, pushing towards the far side. Ramos as Dupont loops round. He's got Atisogbe outside him. He tries to go himself, but he's over inside of the Welsh 22. Their ball was out. Nothing wrong at all there with Wales contesting that. And France have lost about 10 metres.
I got that ball out.
And you just heard the referee say that the ball was out, no problem with that. So Wales read that beautifully, but it's still French ball as we see the powering going forward there from Olivon. Dupont goes again, looking for options, so many of them. Guillard, who was the player of the match last week against Ireland at the Stade de France.
No left.
Dupont, Jégu. Still French ball, and this is a strong defensive set from Wales. They have just held and strangled France on the right-hand side of the field, who are going to have a recess and a think about what they're going to do. Now, Mann is over the top of that, trying to steal. He's now not supporting his body weight, so lets go of the ball. And France stuck in the middle for now. Dupont assessing his options. Ramos acts as a decoy runner as it's just touched through by Jalibert. And in the end, it's me who gets bundled into touch for gathering the ball.
Yeah, it's a pretty good defence set for Wales there. What I love is just their discipline. They're just, like we saw last week, 12 penalties in the first half. You can see France, they're just probing round the breaks down. You can see Dupont just stepping out, just trying to get one of the Welsh defenders to step out, and then you've got Olivon or one of the French pack just steaming onto it. That's why they want that go forward, and then they come alive and get to whip.
Alex Cuthbert here with us on Sports Extra 2. Ball in. It's Wales 0, France 7. From the line out, France win the ball. They're 5 metres out from the near side touch, approaching the Welsh 22. Dupont is going to gather the ball, feeds it to Jégu, who's got support runners on his shoulder in the form of Jean-Baptiste Gros, the Toulon loosehead. As the ball comes back down the French line, they think about popping it away, but they're going to keep it tight now. Now, this is so loose from France. There's absolutely no structure to it at all. Now, apparently they've been trying to practice this in training, but you'd think there'd be something slightly more engineered from them.
Yep, well done. He's out.
Dupont on the ball, passes back towards Gaëtan.
Yeah, they're just trying to win collisions, so they just want this one-on-one and then look for that offload. Now the Jalibert
flying through from Jalibert, one more pass out wide. They still have the extra man. Is Atisogbe. He cuts back inside. Well done to Wales, who cut back and make sure they get those tackles in. But it is France who are now flying down, impressing themselves on that Welsh try line once again. A metre to go, held up.
Oh my God, they come alive, don't they?
Let's release the tackle. It's a penalty back here.
They're coming back for a penalty. Okay, it's a France penalty, so when they tackle the player, they've got to let go of the tackle player. No cards, but discipline has to be good here for Wales.
Yeah, that's quite lucky it's not a card, actually, because if he did let him go, I think he would have scored. So, but you see France's play there. You spoke about just sort of one-up runners looking for those one-on-ones, but it's the pass of Dupont. It just takes out 4 or 5 defenders from Wales. They get on the edge with Jalibert just on a 45, and then he's just magic, isn't he? Just 3-on-2 out of nothing.
So interesting to watch how France are playing. As we said, huge passages of that play. There was nothing constructed. It was just waiting for the opportunity. So different to what you see other teams trying to do. Right there, line out 5 metres from the French line, gathered in the air on that occasion by Olivon. He brings it down at the back there. We can see Marchand has it as they throw a few more bodies into this maul. Wales are holding that for now. It's not going anywhere, and they're given the warning. Marchand, he drives around the corner, 2 metres left to go for France to score a second try. They lead by 7. Jalibert with the cross-field kick. Louis Biel-Barry, he's going to be scoring again. That's his 3rd try in this Six Nations campaign. And not only that, it's his, oh my goodness, add up these numbers. It is now his 23rd in a French shirt. Reminder, this is his 24th match and he's 22 years old.
Yeah, 22-20, that's a lot of tries scored early doors. That was great play by France. Won the line out in the front now, and it was great defence by from Wales really at the initial more. Marchand breaks out, great tackle by Wales, but they were just so short on numbers, and Jalibert's just got so much time. Lovely, absolutely pinpoint cross-field kick, and who's underneath it? But that's try scoring machine Biel-Barry. What a start for France. Just playing so differently to last week, aren't they, in terms of not so much structured, but what a start for France.
Incredible stuff as we now see Ramos just lining this one up. He's got it on the 15-metre line, and if he gets this one, they'll be ahead of the clock when it comes to points. That one does go to the right-hand side of the upright, so it's 1 from 2 for Ramos. It's Wales 0, France 12, and we're on 12 minutes here as they approach the 13-minute mark, as Wales gather themselves and work their way back down. Now that's the first penalty that Wales have given away, and we will talk a lot about discipline when it comes to Wales. Since Steve Tandy took over as they just restart, worth knowing 65 penalties that Wales have given away, 10 yellows, 1 red, and it's going to be a big work on area. When we're judging Wales, that has to be better today. Yeah,
100%. I spoke about it in the week. I think defence, that's where it all starts, and then you can build everything around that, whether that is your attack. That looks a bit forward, didn't it, by Ramos there, but France are running away with it at the moment.
Oh, Louis Biel-Barry, he's got support out on the wing, driven back inside. They're working so well together, but no one's making the tackles. In the end, France knock on the ball to save Welsh blushes. And we will restart with a Welsh scrum as Dewi Lake goes in to speak to the referee.
No, because he's lost it forward here with the scrum to you.
Yeah, but when the next guy plays it, is he not in an offside?
Yeah, maybe I'll have a look for you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Right now, scrum here, guys.
Well, Dewi Lake isn't happy with something that happened at the other end of the field, but it will still be a Welsh scrum we restart with.
Yeah, I think he's got a bit of a conversation, and I think he was actually in front of the ball, but whether that was, they go back to it. But oh my God, France! What they're doing, they got their first pass is so wide, it takes up so many defenders. It makes such a hard decision on the edge for Wales. So, and then when you got Jalibert coming around, and then Biel-Barry with his gas, you just can't defend it, and they've just making so many easy yards. And if that ball stuck a hand there in Ramos, he's under the post for another try.
Yeah, some of those communications and balls have just gone to hand there as we hear Le Marseillaise start ringing out around the Principality. It's a warning shot to every side in the Six Nations just how good this French outfit are. Wales are trying to win their own ball. Eventually, Ollie Cracknell does come away with it as he looks to find Wainwright. A pair of them both off to, well, Ollie Cracknell at Leicester, and Wainwright about to join him at Leicester next season, as so many of these Welsh players are now heading towards the Prem in England with the ongoing uncertainty of what's happening to the club game in Wales, as Biel-Barry dances his way down this left wing once again. He's already got 1 try. He'll be hunting down more. Wales 0, France 12 as we approach 15 minutes, pushing towards the far side. Jalibert puts his foot on the gas, back inside to Braw-Boire. It is a try on debut for the PAL Centre, Fabien Braw-Boire, and this is some start by France.
Wow, that's all I can say is wow. This try, unbelievable. Thomas Ramos looks at fake kick, he bangs it, he sees Dewi Lake on his own on the wing. Biel-Barry step, bang, goes down the wing. It just opens up, they get in behind Wales, and this play here, 1 pass, bang, straight to Jalibert, who's just got so many options out wide. He's got Biel-Barry inside, he's got there's so many players flooding through. It's just what option, and then they make the right one.
What's even scarier about this French outfit is when you look at the age of these backs as well. Okay, so Jalibert and Dupont, 27, 29, Ramos 30, and then you've got this core in the midfield of Biel-Barry 22, Fabien Braw-Boire, who's just scored at 20, and Emile Gaëtan at 22, as Ramos just lines this one up, uses the right boot, sends it through. And that's another 2 points. It's Wales 0, France 19. They are so young.
Very young, fearless. The way they're playing, it's like they're playing a touch game at the moment in terms of little offloads, little just stepping one-on-one. They're getting so many one-on-ones. What's really hurting Wales is defensive line. They're really solid, you know, those first three defenders, but the one pass on Dupont that was then is taken out every single one of them. So they've got, then the edge defence has got so many decisions whether they've got to jam in or stay out, and then they're just getting dead on the edge with gas.
For Wales, this is going to be about damage limitation. They are just playing a great side, and Ellis Mee is off down this right wing. He's on his own, he needs support. Eventually it does arrive in the form of James. Back inside, this is an opportunity Wales might not get again. They have to make this position count. They're inside the French 22. Spun out once again, driven on by Mann. He finds Wainwright, 10 metres left to go. There are blue shirts diving over the top. They're appealing for a penalty, they won't get it. As Williams drives round, he does a little bit of a snipe, the scrum half. Still Welsh ball. David Jenkins has a nibble. 4 metres left for Wales. They've got a penalty, they need that. Make this count, Wales. This is an opportunity to show the heart what the Welsh shirt means. Wainwright goes again. He carried like an absolute monster last week. There was that a little bit of a gap coming through for James not to be on that occasion. They spin it out. Wainwright is there, uses his man strength. Sam Warburton calls this the alpha test when you're pounding away here on a try line. Who will win?
Need to get some widths are. They're all inside the 15-metre line other than Zammit and Josh Adams.
Ball has been held up. They'll come back for the penalty. Wales still have the possession 5 metres out from the French line.
Just here.
Yeah, just a little bit too predictable. Great play by Ellis Mee down the wing to get Wales into this area, but every single player is inside the 15 other than Lewis Zammit and Josh Adams. It's just a little bit too predictable, and if you want that man test, as what Sam Warburton said, France are not the team to do it, really.
Okay, I think Wales are going to take a tap, and we all are watching Dowie Lake's feet and hoping that the TMO stays well out of this. There you go, definitely tap that, drives on. Okay, Wales thundering down on the French line again. Oh, look at that for a try! Wonderful stuff for Wales, and it's Rhys Carré who says, I can do this, I can bash you out the way, and goes over, and Wales finally reply. It's Wales 5, France 19.
Yeah, very well worked try there. Thomas William, great tap by Dowie Lake, actually tapped it this time. Great play. What it was, you had Aaron Wainwright coming on a real hard undersline, and you had Rhys Carré standing right behind him. Bit of a decoy. Rhys Carré, 135 kgs one-on-one. He's always going to go through there with a latch. Good response to Wales, because this is an area last week they really struggled when they got into the 22.
So Edwards is lining this up, and that try from Rhys Carré is everything that Welsh rugby fans want to see. It's about the heart, it's the want, and it's the knowledge that they can do this. We'll talk about the Welsh lineup in a moment, because there is so much talent within it who have been there and have been in big fixtures. As Edwards sends that over, it's now Wales 7, France 19, and that's a more comfortable scoreline.
It is, yeah, and it's a good response. You know, one opportunity to get into that 22, and they've executed. It's what we did not see last week. They showed some real heart, some real strength in that 22. There was a couple of penalties from France mounting up, so you know that's in the back of the referee. But it's just about being disciplined in your own half and trying to win that territory battle. That's what they're not actually having at the moment.
When you look down this Welsh squad as we just watch France kick off again, you've got British and Irish Lions here. You've got players who've gone to multiple World Cups as the ball is bobbled in the air. It's gone forward, but offside there from Wales, and taken quickly by Dupont inside of the French 22. Huge tackles raining in. Thomas Williams there did an absolute somersault in trying to bring Dupont down. Gathered now by the French as they drive forward. About 10 metres out as Wales are warned not to touch the ball. Marchand now has it as he comes round the corner. Slightly more constructed this by the French, very calm-headed rugby, and they want to just bite back as soon as Wales' tails are up. Wales 7, France 19, 20 minutes played here at the Principality. This game being played at breakneck speed, and that's a great tackle going in on Ramos. And they will take that. It's gone forward on the floor by Ramos, and it's a Welsh scrum 15 metres out from their own try line.
Yeah, good D that is. It didn't quite They won the physical battle. Once you start winning the middle phases like that, France, you can see what France are trying to do. They're just trying to get that real wide pass, and then a flick out the back to someone like Thomas Ramos, who didn't quite have enough options, and Eddie James, really good defence there, caught him behind the gain line, and it's so hard if you go past the breakdown to come back round and source it. So yeah, good set by Wales.
I'll watch it for you, but just please.
Exciting game, this, isn't it?
It's absolutely end-to-end, isn't it, at the moment? I think we only see this is the second scrum, is it? I think 20 minutes played already. It's felt really quick.
Are you happy?
Well,
Can I step up then?
for all the concerns and fears, Wales are on the board. That was important because there were 3 breakneck tries that came in by the French. And we've now got another Welsh scrum, so they're not too deep into the corner, but still this is a tight spot for Wales to get themselves out of. It is their scrum though, and it's Thomas Ramos who's just tucked that ball under his shoulder, spinning it around in his hands. And of course Thomas Williams, did I call him Thomas Ramos? I think it's Thomas Williams, definitely Thomas Williams, as he's got Dupont just glaring at him next to him. That scrum is holding, it's not going anywhere. Eventually the ball does come away. A little bit of footwork comes in on this occasion by Joe Hawkins. Scarlett's man takes it down to ground, and all the experience coming in from Williams just to say, okay, let's take our time here, let's go through our routine, go through our processes as the ball comes out on this near side, and that's a good clearance by Williams. Yeah,
it is good, and the difference this week is he's kicking it into touch. Last week we saw a lot of those kicks go long and stay in field, but the likes of Thomas Ramos, who's just so good at making the right decision in terms of when to kick or when to attack, don't give him that option.
Julian Marchand, who was 10 from 10 at the line out last week against Ireland, comes in, goes tight towards the front, uses Francois Cross as the go-to man as they now deploy straight to the backs, and Biel Barry has worked all the way off from the left wing to team up with Atisog Bay on the right, but they're just putting too much into it now as the ball is knocked on. We restart with a Welsh scrum.
Wow, so I tell you what a start to play that was. Wales go for the quick line out.
So they knocked on the ball and it went out of play. Wales have decided they're not interested in the set piece, just get the ball in quickly, let's go again. They're inside of their own half, Wales, by about 10 metres. Got a ruck set up as Thomas Williams goes in and looks for Alex Mann. Fed down the line. Eddie James now has it as he uses his blue boots to work his way towards that 10-metre line. France right over the top of that. Did really well, Wales, to hold on to that ball. Absolute limpet there of blue shirts. Once again it goes to the calm head of Thomas Williams, who is such a general right now. So important for Wales, just keeping that calm head. So disappointing what happened to him on that Lions tour in Australia with that injury. Who knows what could have been. As France come away now through Jalibert, they've turned over the ball down this left wing. Brau Barre on debut, having already scored a try, manages to feed Jegu. Popped off ball. Gilliard, he gets away. Ramos, Jalibert is there. They're well out of position here, the French, but they're so happy with it. It doesn't matter where you're stood on the field. Everyone seems to know where they all are. The telepathy is so impressive.
Yeah, their attack breakdown is phenomenal, isn't it? The speed of ball. That's a great hit there by, I think it was Cracknell, just to slow the play down a bit.
Okay, so France still flooding in attack, and they just make it, even if they don't make a big distance, they're just edging over the gain line every time, which makes such a difference as they then lose the ball down on the floor, goes out of play on the far side. But they're just so happy with ball in hand. They're so confident. And when you are that young as a squad, that says a huge amount about the setup you're in and the environment.
Yeah, they're just so confident with playing what's in front of them rather than be structured. Oh, we got to do 2 phases here to then get to an edge. They just go right, we'll go bang up, make sure we win that speed of ball, and then we'll react. And Dupont is just on it. Jalibert is everywhere at the moment. And what they try and do is get Biel Barry with one-on-one with space on a 45. Good luck trying to catch him.
Well, Alex Mann went up in that line out for Wales, calmly came back down. It's Wales 7, France 19, 24 minutes on the clock.
The ball.
Just got to be a bit careful of these kicks. You watch the winger chasing in, and then Thomas Ramos is looking to bounce back onto a touchline, and they've broken Wales a few times now.
Oh, miscommunication there by France in the backfield. Somehow Ramos has come away with it. Wales were up there in their faces, but they're not making the tackles. You can't miss tackles like that and give opportunities like this to France, because they're flooding through. They're like birds in flight. It's now Dupont. Wonderful tackle by Thomas Williams. That's a real try-saving tackle, and Reece Samet has it, but he can't get away. He's just scragged round the ankles and dragged down. France know that he can run if required, as the ball has got out of play on the far side, but it's brought back in quickly by France. Okay, the referee didn't notice, and there's a bit of a melee going on the far side of the field, and they just need a few bodies to make their way back up and stand up again.
The clean-up was completely on the side.
I thought it was loose by both players.
We had a contest and he came on the side.
Okay, look, not for me there.
I think James Dolman
Okay, guys,
is just having to keep up with the play.
So it's Wales
His breath, he's out of breath, isn't he? Literally. But can I just say, what a tackle by Thomas Williams there. Dupont was literally in.
Loose. So it's general play.
Absolute. It was a real try saver, that one. There was 3 blue shirts there, all flooding forward.
There's nothing on the sideline there in that tussle.
Okay, nothing in that, as James Dolman, our referee from New Zealand, now sets for the line out. It went out of play on the far side by French hands, so it is Dowie Lake who steps up. The Bridgend-born hooker, who has had to do so many difficult interviews, now doing what he loves most, playing rugby for Wales and getting on with the job in hand. Ford's come away with the ball. Wainwright, with his floppy, curly, blonde hair, goes over the Welsh 10-metre line, as well as trying to figure out a way here of getting out of their own half. Thomas Ramos is going to call for some runners here as he puts the high one up. It's going to come pretty much down about 3 metres in front of where he was. And the crumbs, as they call it, end up going in the French direction. And they spin it down this line. And hard work here for Ellis Mee to track down Biel Barré, who does take him out of play. And that strong defence there by Mee, who read that very nicely.
Yeah, I was going to say, France look alive on any transition if Wales don't win those kicks and competes. And good defence by Ellis Mee there. He hasn't jumped in, he's worked really hard. You're expecting Biel Barré to put those little kick throughs, but France are looking to attack from absolutely anywhere, aren't they?
They really are. Ellis Mee, 22 years old, only his 6th cap for Wales. Still hasn't scored. I think he's had a couple that have been scrubbed off, poor Ellis Mee. But you never know. Strong contender out on the far wing as we now watch Wales go back through the routine. First time they got down into that French 22, they came away with the Reece Carré try as we've still got 13 minutes of the first half to go. Biel Barré has been well worked by Mee as Dupont comes away with the ball. He smashes it away down the field. And it comes out of play on the near side, and we'll restart then with a Welsh line out 10 metres inside of their own half, and they just cannot escape this sort of porridge in the midfield of their own half.
Every kick at the moment is landing around the 15-metre line, but the Wales winger, what he's doing, he's chasing infield, so on the edge then you're leaving your hooker or your scrum half, and Dupont and Ramos are just picking them off, and they're making 20-30 yards even with the kicking behind every single time. I think Wales have got to either get closer to his touchline and shore it up, or just don't give them the option to go back down the blind.
Okay, Dan Edwards has the ball. Again, it's a high ball. They're not really going for distance in these kicks and forcing the French back three to turn. They're all making sure they're contestable. And Wales seem to have won that one, so finally they got one back inside of the French half. Reece Samet feeds down the line. Edwards is there on his own, needs a few more red shirts to just shore up that ruck. Ball comes back away now to Carré, the try scorer. Wales 10 metres inside of French territory. Crossfield kick here by Thomas Williams is interesting, and the mark is called by Louis Biel Barré, who gathers it inside the French 22.
Yeah, it's a great read by Louis Biel Barré, because it would have been a really good kick by Thomas Williams. He's seen the space, but Louis Biel Barré, he's so fast, he just gets back and marks it. And they just seem to have every base covered at the moment, France.
And they do have the same number of players on the field. One thing we do have to say, and we admitted we would be critical of this, as the ball comes out of play on the near side. It's been touched by a Welsh player. Discipline at 28 minutes here in this fixture is good for Wales.
Yeah, 100%. That's a lot better than last week. They're just staying in the game, albeit 19-7, and France have had some real opportunities. But this is what I want to see. Just this grit, and this middle third is what we talk about in between the 15s. It's just trying to, what team can crack, who can make that mistake, that that penalty, and then you can work your way up and win that territory battle. Then.
Okay, flying in sky to get that one is the Exeter captain, Dafydd Jenkins. Just wait, it was Mann that went up and got that one. Wrong scrum cap. As the ball comes back now to Wainwright. drives on.
Okay.
Oh, it was Jenkins
Use
that
the
went up
ball.
and got it. Ball comes away this time through Ollie Cracknell. Drives on.
Use the ball.
This is calm stuff here from Wales. Wales 7, France 19. Hasn't been a score now for over 10 minutes for either side. Again, it's all that bobbling ball. Comes away though in the hands of Dupont down this near side. And Dan Edwards gets wrong-footed by Dupont, but it's a good track back by Jenkins. This time it goes into the hands of Gilliard. He's 15 metres out now from the French line. It's going to stand up for Atis Ogbe, who touches down. Try given. Atis Ogbe goes over. Wainwright was also there, but it's Atis Ogbe who gets the try. Don't know if they'll check that or not, but that is 4 tries for France. It's now Wales 7, France 24.
Oh my God, what a Bierberry, what an offload off the floor here. Just keeps the ball alive. Dupont on the edge, just what I keep talking about. So they just really, they're really struggling on edges at the moment, Wales.
Okay.
They are going to have a look at this because there was like 3 players who were going for the ball at the same time. So
on-field decision, we have a try. But you're going to show me something else.
I suspect they might all be looking at whether Louis Bialbaré's pass to Dupont is forward before the actual passage of play. We're going to have to wait and see. We can't hear the TMO.
On the screen and we'll look at that potential offside by 14 Blue as he runs from the box kick.
Okay. Right then, so we're watching actually what happened to Tio Atis Ogbe, the power wing, to see if he has actually been in the right position from when the ball was kicked through by Dupont.
Yep, so clearly in front there, so
he's offside, so he stood in front of the kicker. Will come back and it'll be a Welsh penalty.
Yeah.
Okay,
so what it is a ruck around in 15, and Dupont's just a little chip kick over the top because obviously Lewis Rees-Zamm has had to be in that breakdown, and he's just overrun it by about a yard. It's a great spot really because it was just so fast, wasn't it? The pace of play France were playing at.
Okay, Wales 7, France 19. That one is scrubbed off.
The
best way to describe how France are playing is sevens.
That was perfect.
I can't think of a better way because it is so unstructured. You're so used to and adjusted in 15s to seeing everything coming from this exact shape or set move, and it's just not like that at all for France.
It's the offload as well, so every time, even when they get tackled, they look to offload straight away off the deck. And it's so hard to defend because it just brings that extra defender, shortens Wales' lineup. But France are having such joy on these short on the blind side. So if they do get a box kick on that 15, they're just looking to pick off Dewi Lake, who's on the edge, or Dav Jenkins. They're really good at identifying where the forwards are.
Yeah, 21 offloads last week against Ireland. We'll try and get you the numbers at half-time of where they are. They also beat 41 defenders last week as well. As from the line out, Wales send the ball down, and it ends up once again as a loose ball on the floor. Louis Bialbaré gathers for France, but it's such a mess, and it's been knocked on by France in the process. And this is a nice attacking platform here for Wales. It's inside of the French half by about 7 or 8 metres, and they'll set up this scrum pretty much on the 10-metre line.
Yeah, it's what they've been working for. I think the last 4 or 5 set pieces we've kicked off first phase in terms of just trying to win this kicking battle. And now we've got a great opportunity on France's 10-metre line, middle of the field. How do we get Lewis Rees-Zamm with the ball in hand with a bit of space, test out this French defence?
Alex, I listened to your commentary last week on BBC Radio 5 Live. There were times where obviously you were incredibly frustrated, but you were down. You don't feel like that this week. I feel there's more of a bounce to you. This is a good thing, yes?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, good.
It was 29-0 half-time, so it was quite hard. But we've just seen a little bit of fight, and they just stayed in the play longer than England. England just seemed to score with very ease, and they didn't do a lot, did they? And we saw obviously yesterday they were a little bit off it as well.
Well, free kick here for Wales to come away. Rees-Zamm is desperate to get a run away, as we just see flying over the top there. Francois Cross trying to slow down that ball, but Wales have it inside of the French half. They're playing between the 10 and the 22. If they can just build something here and not get stuck once again, as Dewi Lake now drives forward, the skipper Edwards looks up, finds the option this time of Hawkins, selected at 12 ahead of Ben Thomas of Cardiff. Back now to Mann with his black strapping round his forehead. Oh, over the top straight away France, but they're told to let go. But no, France are given the penalty.
Through there.
So frustration. So much frustration there for Wales.
Just
Wales 7, France 19.
Sorry,
Number
just
three,
lacking
three
that
was- three
that
was the
intensity,
issue.
that pace,
Yeah,
that
you should
power,
have
just to
been
get through the game line. France defence, they're not having to do a lot, are they? I feel like when Wales do go out the back, when they call it, France have got numbers on. They're not really creating enough. Wales in that first 2-3 phases to really stretch France or make them make a decision whether they have to jam in or stay out.
Okay, so we're on nearly 34 minutes here at the Principality. Wales 7, France 19. You're looking up at the stats. What's caught your eye?
Yeah, I spoke about offloads. They've already made 18. So
Wow, absolute numbers. Okay. Oh, that was beautiful. Back inside from France. Dupont was there. It was all about the forwards. Eventually they give the backs a go, this time through Jalibert. And we're playing advantage as well. Still French ball inside of the Welsh half. They're flirting on the halfway, approaching the 10-metre line. The blue shirts of France expressing themselves. They've got 3 tries, no bonus point. They've had one scraped off after they were offside from the kick through. Jégu, he goes down to ground. Dupont looking for any runner to come onto the ball, decides to opt for Anthony Jelonge, the Toulouse number 8. Jégu that decides to continue with the distribution. Nice from Jalibert running onto the ball. Nice kick through there by the fly half. Gathered there by Reece Zammit, who's well taken down there by his opposite number in Ramos. And Wales now find themselves inside of their own 22. Someone's lost a boot on the floor as well. So that needs picking up and putting back on. It is Reece Zammit. And Wales stuck inside of this 22 now, and it's down to Thomas Williams again to try and go for an absolute mammoth box kick to try and clear this one towards the near side, and it has gone out of play, and that Thomas Ramos box kick is getting Wales out of a lot of trouble at the moment.
it is, and certainly he's kicking it well into the stand. They're not giving France a tour, but how good they just France middle of the field. They just go side to side. How hard their back row and their second rows work just to carry to get that gain line, and then they go bang, we'll go to an edge. And then Jalibert, I think they forced it a little bit early on, and now they seem to play that pragmatic, just kick it in behind, put the pressure back on.
Well, Marchand does one over the top, back inside to Dupont. Oh, he's danced around nearly 7-8 Welsh players, still going this time as they kick forward, not to be, knocked on in the end. The last Frenchman to touch the ball was Fabien Brau-Barret. And we restart with a Welsh scrum 5 metres out from their own line.
How good is Dupont? 1, 2, 3 step, hand off Aaron Wainwright, and gets the offload away again. And you think, just keep the ball, they're recycling, they're probably walking in the corner there. Joe Hawkins just does enough, doesn't he, just to tap the ball out of his hands. But look at Dupont there, what I'm talking about, he's literally like a ballerina, just dancing, spinning around, handing off, and then looks for the offload. It just makes it look so effortless.
Honestly, the way he makes rugby sometimes looks so simple. It's really not, it's really hard. It really is. Incredible human. Right then, Wales 7, France 19 as we approach 37 minutes. So 3 minutes of this first half to go. And this has so far been a decent performance. Wales would love to just hold on to the scoreline, but that was a big French scrum. Wales did so well to get out. Break away there, really nice down the left. More players arrive, more red shirts. They just get that little bit of extra space in the calm head again. And Thomas Williams just turning up and going, just secure this ball, please, and I will get rid of it. There it goes, flies away. That one's not going to find touch. It's going to find Ramos back inside of the French half. He almost had to turn to gather the ball, not quite. Ramos flying away down the right, back inside of the Welsh half, and they've got a long way to go here, France, with 2.5 minutes to play if they're going to wrap up that bonus point try before half-time. Ball down on the ground, French forwards offering themselves, this time driven on by Jean-Baptiste Gros. He places it backwards. This time we go back to Jalibert, who puts the high one up. We're looking at crumbs. Which side will it fall? On the Welsh side, but who's there other than Biel Barret? Nice footwork coming through by Fabien Brau-Barret. There's a lot of bees out there today. Right then, through the middle. This time we get to see Gilliard, who was so physical last week. And it's a turnover ball here for Wales, but it was kicked on by Adam Beard. And it's broken through by Jalibert, and he will touch down. And Mathieu Jalibert finishes off the half here for France. There's time for a restart, but just as Wales thought they could clear that, Adam Beard thought he could see daylight, and I can tell you for free that his kicking licence has been fully revoked.
Yeah, an absolute freebie for France there. It's a great, what it was a massive hit by Cracknell to turn over the ball, and then Wales looked to shift it, but I'm not sure what Adam Beard's thinking there. He's looking to try and kick it through. It's got charged down, and Jalibert has literally got an absolute walk-in. It's pretty poor, isn't it? You know, Beard, you know, Adam Beard, he's not known for his kicking, just carry, set up. It's a great turnover in the middle of the field. You can see on the screens in front of us, Steve Tandy is not happy with that. You know, that's something that Beardy would not usually think to do, but I think with the way the game's going and what's been happening in the last couple of weeks, you make these decisions.
Well, right boot from Ramos, and the reason it's so frustrating is because Wales had been in control. They haven't done anything like that has just allowed almost an accident to happen to allow France to have that opportunity. That's what's frustrating. Yeah,
we saw last week in terms of that they gave England tries, didn't they? You know, to the balls on the floor, and then that was just another freebie. France had to do absolutely nothing, and I was about to say both front fives are looking incredibly tired. How fast this first half has been. I imagine the bench is going to have a big impact pretty early on in the second half, so it's just a freebie. And Wales, they were managing it. They were managing the pressure from France, weren't they? Just before half-time, that's an absolute killer going in.
Wales 7, France 26. 10 seconds of the first half to play. And what had been a decent shift here from Wales, just a slight blip now on the copybook. And surprising, it also came from Adam Beard, who's obviously now at Montpellier. He knows a lot of these French players now, plays with them week in, week out in the top 14. He knows the standards that they keep themselves to. As I have to say, Louis Rees-Zammit is being well marshalled by France. They clearly see him as a threat, and each time he gets hands on the ball, there's at least 2 blue shirts dragging him down. As Thomas Williams thinks he can see a little bit of space to gather an extra metre. There's a French player lying on the wrong side, so Wales come away with the ball on the halfway. Driven forward this time by Jenkins. Ball being placed backwards. Williams looking for options. Wales looking to finish on a flourish here, maybe make up for just that slight lapse in concentration we saw that allowed that 4th French try. Footwork this time by Joe Hawkins, and they need an idea here because France are just waiting for Wales to run at them. They don't even need to drive forwards.
No, you could see they're not even competing at the breakdown. They're spreading out. They're working incredibly hard. They win that collision, and then when they do get, you can see Marchand then, he'll only dip in now and then.
It's really interesting as the ball goes to the floor, and Rees-Zammit, he doesn't even think about passing it. He's just driving forward almost on his own, runs straight into Fabien Brau-Barret, who does tackle him. We can see the big arms of Dorian Aladeguerri going over the top to gather the ball. Carré, it's really nice for him how he held the ball there, took it over the French player to ensure he could get an extra metre in the tackle. It's what Wales need just a bit more of. Every inch counts, every body position, every place back. Still driven forward. This is a good set here from Wales, but it's only a good set if it turns into something. And they're holding it now between the French 10 and 22, but the penalty comes. The blue shirts are too much. It's inside the French half, and I can only assume that France will get this off the field of play.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable defence set by France. They work so hard for each other. That was Michael Gilliard there, when Wales do get a little bit yard or two behind, they're on their own and bang, straight over. He's a big man to try and move, and they just kick it straight out half-time. Okay,
half-time here then at the Principality Stadium. It is Wales 7, France 26. France have the bonus point try. And it's just that last try by Jalibert, which is really frustrating. So let's forget about that one. Up until that point, some good stuff from Wales. Thomas Williams in particular is absolutely bossing what is going on down when they're in that defensive formation to try and clear the ball and exit. There is credit in the bank there.
Yeah, I think if you're going to take some positives away from Wales, that probably first 35 minutes, I thought they made some really good defensive moments in terms of nullifying France's attack. They're absolutely running everything. They're running riot out there, really, in terms of, if you look at the stats, offloads, we'll go through them in a bit now, but it's that last try just sort of sums up where they are, aren't they? I think as a squad at the moment, in terms of just, you know, they're just too easy to score against.
Isn't it bizarre, though, if we are going to go, though, with that last try for France? So basically, Adam Beard has an absolute, I know some people don't like this expression, but brain fart is the best way to describe it. Decides he's going to kick the ball through, can't find the connection at all. It bounces up into France's hands, and they just basically run straight through. Adam Beard would never normally do that in a month of Sundays.
No, he wouldn't, but it sort of sums up in terms of that breakdown. They won the ball, but you sort of prefer a penalty in a way. You know, that sort of is where they're at. Their transition is just nowhere near what I mean by transition in terms of turnovers compared to France. You watch France off the kick returns when they're winning it. Ramos and Biabiri are running riot. They are really stretching Wales.
Okay, so 4 tries for France, 1 for Wales, and we have to say the try for Wales through Rhys Carré was an absolute muscle fest by Carré in particular. He really fronted up. He showed everything that you want from your big ball carriers in those moments. It wasn't a beautiful try, but it's a try that in rugby you need to be able to score when you're in those positions.
Yeah, what it was a well executed tap and go. That was a pre-pan move with Dewi Lake tapping and going. He got a little bit wider, so it was maybe a one-on-one with the back on the next phase. But Aaron Wainwright, he come on a real nice line, and Carré, what he does is sit behind 9, and he come right in behind. So it's like a sort of a ball in behind, and then Carré is 135 kgs. He was very quick and powerful, that close to the line. He's a one-on-one, and it's a good, well-worked try.
Discipline has been better. It was a big one that we were talking about. So many discipline problems against England. Yes, that there's been the odd blip, but overall, surely that's 1,000 times better than what we saw at Twickenham.
Yeah, it's a lot better. But if you look at how clinical France have been when they have had given those opportunities from the penalties, I think they're 80% strike rate in terms of taking points. So albeit better discipline, but when you're playing a top side and you give them that one opportunity, they more or less take them.
Okay, they've just dimmed the lights here inside the Principality, so they are about to start with a half-time show. I don't know what it is, but there is a lady in a very sparkly dress in the middle. Do you know who she is, Alex Cuthbert?
No, I can't. It's usually my mate Ellis Jenkinson's wife.
Oh, it's Molly Roberts, who I assume is an opera singer. I'm looking around, nobody knows. Okay, we're about to find out.
So yeah, you think
okay,
so.
all right, it probably is an opera singer, so you may well hear that any moment now. Before I finish on this, we talked about Wales there. It is improved, it is better. When it comes to France, the rugby they are playing, we're putting them in a bracket at the moment with South Africa, about 2 teams that are just playing rugby their way, how they want to do it. Do you think what they're playing can take them all the way through to that World Cup, when you think about the depth of their squad as well?
They for me, they have every aspect. So they have that physical battle, that dominance up front, the transition play in terms of how alive their backs come. I think Jalibert coming in, he's like, you wouldn't believe he probably should have way more caps. They're so exciting, but you can see today they're trying little things in terms of they just play what's in front of them. They're not structured at all, but they can have that structure as well. And them and South Africa are miles apart, miles ahead of the rest of the nations at the moment for me.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, England were in that bracket until yesterday afternoon. If you didn't see the final score between Scotland and England, it finished Scotland 31, England 20. As a Welshman, did you enjoy that?
Don't
lie.
I was actually a bit surprised because watching England and how sort of clinical they were. It's all mindset. This is why it's so hard in the Six Nations to win a Grand Slam or Championship. These away games are just so hard. If you look at the past form, I know Scotland have that edge over England the last couple of years, but where England are at the moment as a group, I thought they would have just buried that and put that performance. But you've got to give credit to Scotland, and now the tournament's completely turned on its head, isn't it? That Scotland-France game, for me, is going to be an exciting one.
It is so exciting, everything that's still to come. And a reminder that also yesterday it finished Ireland 20, Italy 13, and Italy led for large passages in that fixture as well, but the Ireland bench, they came on and did the job. Right then, so we're talking about that match between Scotland and England. Let's dig a little bit deeper, because the latest episode of the Rugby Union Weekly podcast is out. It has all the reaction from the Calcutta Cup. So let's hear a snippet of it now with Chris Jones, Matt Dawson and Johnny Beattie.
and knocking out Pep Guardiola's City a few years later when they were on for the quadruple. Those days are a long way behind them, aren't they? They are really suffering at the wrong end of League One.
Well, start me off with a positive one.
Sorry. Is there one to find?
Well, not at the moment, to be fair. I mean, obviously, this is a massive positive. You know, the cup run, we kind of stumbled through against lower division opposition in the first 2 rounds, got through on penalties. Great win at Championship high flyers Preston in the last round, and then to be pulled out with Arsenal away. It's what football's, it's what dreams are made of, isn't it? We've got a 5,000 packed away end today. It's been the talk of the town. Despite the trouble in the league, everyone's been looking forward to this one, and it's a free hit, but you talk about Wigan's history in this competition, you never know. If any team turns up for the big occasion and pulls off the shock, it's Wigan Athletic. So you wouldn't put your mortgage on it, but maybe, just maybe.
5,000 fans coming down, that is an incredible effort, isn't it?
Incredible. I mean, Wigan are very often derided for their attendances, but the imagination that this tie, I mean, it was sold out within a few days. I've no doubt that they could have sold maybe another 2,000 or 3,000. Such was the interest. Everybody wants to be here. You mentioned the Man City games in the past. Nobody in the town has forgotten those, and if there is a shock today, everyone wants to be able to say, I was there, and who knows.
I'm going to do it again, sorry. It's 30 years since Wigan have been in the 4th tier, which is what they're in danger. Is this mostly about distraction? And sometimes distraction and just breaking that long end in the league can make a difference, even if you don't win and cause a shock.
Oh, of course. I mean, confidence breeds confidence, doesn't it? The belief that the team would get if they can get a positive result here. It is a free hit. No one's expecting them to do anything else other than get absolutely spanked. We've seen some big scores this year. Exeter against Man City was it the last round. That's what can happen when top elite Premier League teams play against League One teams. But like I say, it's a free hit, and Callum McManaman's on the bench today. I'm sure he will have been in the ear of some of the younger lads in this team saying, listen, not many people had heard of me in 2013 before that final. I had the game of my life. It's made my life. People still talk about him. He's never bought a drink in the town since. Who knows what could happen if there is it might even be Callum McManaman again today, but that's what's up for grabs today, and they just need to just say, enjoy the occasion. It's probably not going to happen again for a lot of these players. Enjoy it, go out, live the moment, and who knows.
They started the weeks with sacking the manager, didn't they? Just before the biggest game that they've had in a long time. Ryan Lowe, of course, was let go. You've got the interim team now of Glenn Whelan, of course, Stoke City and Ireland, and Graham Barrow. And you never know, a little bounce. Paul, I'm trying to be positive,
absolutely.
because he looks sad after chatting with you, Steve, for the last few minutes. I'm going to be honest.
That's it. I mean, Graham Barrow, this club's full of history. Graham Barrow was actually a manager just before Wigan got out of the 4th tier 30 years ago. He's had about 80 different spells as interim manager, coach. He was on Roberto Martinez's coaching staff in 2013. He is Mr. Wigan Athletic. He's been there in the League 2 days, the League 1 days, the Championship, the Premier League, the European Tour. He's been there, done it. If anyone can kind of get a tune out of these players on the big occasion, it's him. I gather Glenn Whelan did the media for the TV, probably because he's a much bigger name in Premier League circles. But Graham Barrow, do not underestimate what Graham Barrow means to the town, to the club and the dressing room. He will be having words behind the scenes, and who knows.
Paul, thank you. I hope you enjoy the next 2 hours more than the last 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. I certainly hope that's the case.
Paul Kendrick from Wigan today, alongside John Akers, who's going to keep us right up to date. Some more from the Emirates and much more from Ibrox to come in 25 minutes' time. Full commentary on 5 Live of a huge game at the top of the Scottish Premiership, especially after Celtic's last-minute win at Kilmarnock. Rangers versus Hearts is on the way. More to come as well from the Winter Olympics. All after the news on 5 Live with Joe Humby.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Team GB has won its first ever Winter Olympics gold medal on snow. Charlotte Banks and Hugh Nightingale took top spot in the snowboard cross mixed team final event at the Milan Cortina Games in Italy. It means GB has now won 2 gold medals at a single Winter Olympics for the very first time. BBC's Ed Lee and Tim Warwood were watching.
Oh, what a turn! Shifting into gold medal position. She is up and over. She's got the board speed. Charlotte Banks on that last turn.
She's going to hold him off. She's going to do it for Great Britain.
Moyoli's there, but it's too far. gold! It's gold! A gold medal for Great Britain in the mixed team snowboard cross.
Delirium from the British fans down there.
The former Liberal Democrat leader, Sir Vince Cable, has called on the police to look into claims that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor leaked sensitive information to the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein while he was a UK trade envoy. Sir Vince was business secretary for some of the time. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has previously denied any wrongdoing. Julian Payne, a former head of communications for the now King Charles, says the revelations are difficult but not impossible for him.
Don't forget, this institution has been both an institution and a family for hundreds of years. Sure. The King knows better than anybody that there is a family side to this, but there is no way that that would ever trump the institutional responsibility that he has and the institution has to do what is right.
Iran says it's ready to consider compromises in order to reach a deal with the US over its nuclear programme. The country's Deputy Foreign Minister told the BBC that if America was sincere, an agreement could be reached. A second round of talks will be held in Geneva next week. And a fast-spreading measles outbreak in North London has left a number of children needing hospital treatment. Health officials say roughly a third of the confirmed cases in England so far this year are in Enfield.
I'm Rich Hall, and this is Sports Strangest Crimes presents Confessions of a Super Bowl Streaker.
When people ask me what I do, I say to them, well, by day or by night?
The story of one man's mission to conquer the holy grail of streaking the Super Bowl.
Mark Roberts is too lively for his body.
He's just like the entertainer.
Mark pushes the boundaries of what is socially acceptable.
No chance, Texas. It's really strict, but then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, hang on, what are you about?
Sports Strangest Crimes presents Confessions of a Super Bowl Streaker. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC.
Well, welcome back to Sports Extra 2. We're bringing you Wales against France. Apologies for any listeners who are expecting to hear that little snippet of the Rugby Union Weekly podcast at half-time. A few gremlins just popped in, so you got a little bit extra 5 Live Sport instead. But if you do want to listen to that episode, do head over to BBC Sounds, where you can hear all of the conflab, all of the debate after what was an incredible victory for Scotland yesterday. That one finishing 31-20. There will be another podcast that drops tonight. Hugo Monnier will be in discussion about all of the matches that have gone on in round 2. So the result for Ireland, Scotland, and then whatever happens here at the Principality. So the half-time score here is Wales 7, France 26. My name is Sarah Orchard. France are out in front of us at the moment. We're waiting for Wales to reappear. Alongside me, I've got Alex Cuthbert. We were just discussing Valentine's Day. You were very good, weren't you?
Yes.
Good husband.
Yeah, I was on the money. I got married just at the end of last year, so I had to keep that going.
Well done. Very impressive. My family won't be listening to this, but I can assure you I got nothing from any of them. So you never know. Maybe when I get home tonight, maybe something is waiting. We'll watch this space. Have I been good this year, I think, is what we need to ask ourselves. But in the meantime, France, they're going through a few phases at the moment. Ramos is kicking the ball to Jalibert as eventually Wales do reappear. We're keeping an eye out for any changes. In the first half, there were 4 tries for France. Gaëtan, Biel-Barré, Brau-Barré, and then also Jalibert went over just at the end there. Rhys Carré did go over for Wales. Alex Cuthbert, what do you think would have been the half-time talk from Steve Tandy?
We got a screen in front of us and we saw the clip after that. Adam Beard tried to kick through and Jalibert score and he was not happy. So I don't think he'd be going in there and shouting and screaming, but we've obviously had to kick an awful lot, Wales, and at the moment we don't look like really threatening France. So it'd be probably in around that area in terms of how do we give ourselves an opportunity to actually stretch France and put them under some pressure.
I now have to stand up because I can't actually see the pitch if I don't, and I'm just looking around me. I've got some French fans behind me. They're wearing the cockerel hats as we're back underway here now at the Principality. Half-time score, Wales 7, France 26. And Wales are playing from right to left in this second half. They have the ball inside of their own 22. keeping an eye out for any changes. Haven't spotted any just yet as Ramos gathers the ball for France. They're 15 metres inside of their own half, and he runs back as he goes on a nice little cross switch there with Atis Ogbe. Really nice there from Mann. Oh, he nearly got a lovely penalty there from the referee, not given. I think it was because the French player who had the ball hadn't quite landed on the floor. Mann was almost too far ahead of the game as Dupont now has it approaching the Welsh 10-metre line as it goes forward from France, and nicely gathered by Lake, right round his ankles. Great reactions there by the skip as it comes down the Welsh line, and Thomas Williams doesn't actually look at the rest of the line. He's looking for the space in the backfield as he forces Jalibert to turn and gather the ball inside of the French 22, and Thomas Williams was just trying to track back and push him down, and it's now Wales who get the ball in the backfield, and Dan Edwards having a chance just to look up and scan as he pushes it towards this near side touch. Now, I love that Dan Edwards has just put the ball out of play on this near side. It's on the halfway, but we were discussing this, Alex Cuthbert. There's a lot of times where France can pin Wales inside of their half, but we haven't really seen it return in kind.
No, I think one of it is in terms of also where France's kicking game is that they try and find grass when they do get that opportunity, and you know they've made a lot of yards, but Wales are obviously a bit worried about that long ball back to France. They try maybe kick a little bit shorter, but then it pins them back in their own half all the time.
Marchand at the back there, having gathered the ball for France, has the ball up the jumper. Dupont now releases, looks for options, manages to find Jalonge, who was hanging out there in that first receiver position. Ramos flying onto the ball. Wonderful stuff, goes straight through Louis Rees-Zammit and Ellis Mee. One of them has to commit to the tackle just to stop France getting those extra metres as Marchand then drives forward. Still French ball, and they're all the way up now to the Welsh 22. Almost from one set play as they just snipe round the corner. Jegu on the ball, and a big blast on the whistle there. Penalty against Wales. Late tackle there on Dupont, and this is right in front of the post here for France.
Yeah, it's a massive hit from Aaron Wainwright on Dupont, really late. I was going to say, in terms of defence of Wales, France are playing so wide off 9 with Dupont, but they can't get wider because Dupont is so dangerous around the fringes. So they're in catch sort of 22 really in terms of how hard do they go at Dupont, but then how much width do they want to get to try and stop that, you know, that power from France off 9.
Well, this was the break we're seeing on the repeat on the screens. As Ramos just absolutely dissects through the middle of Rees-Zammit and Mee and just makes so many metres out of it.
Yeah, their attack play has been really good. Like I told you, they keep targeting that 12-13 channel just on the outside of 13. And Eddie James has to come in, and then they get that ball at the back, France, and they just got so much gas to get to an edge.
Marchand waits to get the ball in, calmly taken in the air by Olivon. He lands back down. Marchand gathering it at the base there. They're throwing bodies into it once again. They're trying to maul this one forward. It's spun round. Is it stuck in there is the question. James Dolman is letting this play out. France now drive forward. It's over. It's a score. France now have 5 tries, and Marchand just has the ball there nestled calmly underneath his chest, and it is now Wales 7, France 31.
Yeah, very, very well executed from France. Marchand on his 50th cap, he'd be happy with that. Won the front ball. You think Wales sort of actually initially stop it, but that power comes in with a couple of the French backs flying into it, and their power tells, and they score right in the corner. Not the start that Wales wanted.
It'll be really frustrating. It was all about power. It really wasn't a pretty try at all from France, but physically they've exerted themselves, and there was a lot of question again for Wales that came when it came to them actually fronting up physically against England. We have seen big periods of that, particularly around the Reece Currie try, you have to say, but they need more of that.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I think that's an area where we really are lacking, is that physicality, and whether it's in defence or attack. You know, Currie, he's big, and if he gets on the ball maybe 5-6 times in a game, he can get that, but we don't have enough of those runners. But Aaron Wainwright would be probably our top carrier.
Thomas Ramos has absolutely dissected the posts from the near side touch in the kind of kick of absolute dreams, and he's done it just like, you know, it's easy as scratching his head.
Yeah, he'd be gutted about missing this other one pretty close, wouldn't he?
He will be. Right then, so that conversion means it's Wales 7, France 33, 45 minutes on the clock. 5 tries now for France. And it was interesting, in the build-up to this, I was listening to Sean Edwards' interview on the BBC, where he said, we will be playing to our standards and to our potential today, which I think was him being very polite, saying we're going to put the sword in here.
Yeah, I love that word, playing to our potential. I think they really have. I think they've got so many levels, this French team, in terms of how they can hurt you. And we've seen, we've seen it, haven't we, so far?
There's Francois Croix. He puts his head down, playing his rugby now at Toulouse. Had a knee injury at the start of the season that kept him out, but now back in this French side, really exerting himself. You just think now the competition for places here in this France outfit. You think about what the centres have done today, this new combination with Defotat. He's out injured at the moment. Also Mofana, as the ball comes back away now on the Welsh side on the halfway line. They decide to go towards Edwards. Again, he puts the high one up. Now, this is a very familiar story here for Wales. And Jalibert has juggled the ball, and Jenkins is trying to tussle that one back. It's going to end up on the French side. So they have managed to push France back inside of their own half, but they've lost possession here, Wales. As a big push through comes from Jean-Baptiste Gros. Now certainly the first choice loose head in France. Obviously the sad news about what's happened with the different props, but Cyril Baille now certainly not first choice, as there's a big tussle in the air between Reece Zammit there and Atis Ogbe. France have it, and they're having a little bit of a review of what happened there, but Wales are on a bit of a break here. Thomas Francis on the ball. And French players really in the eye line there of Thomas Williams, and Wainwright building up a head of steam, driving on. Who's with him? Who wants the ball? Push out towards the right-hand touch. Wales driving forward. All of a sudden, France are stressed. They are stretched. They have to regather themselves, put back up the blue wall, stolen by France, turned over, sent down the field, and there is no one there. Biel Barré is tracking back. Ellis Mee needs to gather the ball, get it out. Does just that. And all of that promise, all of that opportunity as the ball goes out of play. Well, they are playing on. I thought it had bounced out then, it hasn't. Dupont sends it back down the field.
All on.
You have to just say, if Wales had just had a couple more players out on that right-hand field that could just keep up with play. There just wasn't enough numbers. It's Thomas Williams just pops the ball back down. And all of a sudden, France are pressing now down on Wales, who are inside of their own half.
Yeah, it's the only time Wales look dangerous, isn't it? Is off a kick compete and then look to shift it wide. But France reorganised so well. They've got numbers here. Wales are just a little bit one up, aren't they? They're not dynamic enough to try and get that speed of ball.
Wales 7, France 33. And another big, nice run coming in there by Carré. Really taken his opportunity, been giving that starting shirt today. Was at Saracens, went back to Cardiff, but then sort of fell out a little bit with Warren Gatland, made his way back down the M4 to Saracens again, where he now resides, but showing his worth as the ball goes towards the far side. Lovely take by Biel Barré out on the wing, and it just ends up back in French hands, back inside to Atis Ogbe. France make rugby look easy as they go over for a 6th try. It's the two wings hanging out on the left wing together. Biel Barré and Atis Ogbe teaming up, as it is now Wales 7, France 38.
Oh, take a bow, what a try. There's a real high bomb kick from Dan Edwards in the air. It's a good compete from Ellis Mee and Atis Ogbe, I think it was. He wins it back, he flicks the ball back. Oh, it's Ramos gets it, sorry. He just flicks it audaciously back over his head to Biel Barré, and Atis Ogbe, he's on his inside. What a try. Just Thomas Ramos, just nonchalant as you like.
Thomas Ramos has now had 2 of the most impressive bits of skill we have ever seen on a rugby field, one in each round of the Six Nations. If you didn't see his little touch of a kick through that was gathered by Louis Biel Barré in round 1, go and watch that, then watch this one afterwards. What he gets away with on a rugby pitch is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that for me was pretty much undefendable. You think you've got him, he's on his way down, and he's just like over the back of his head. But what he does, he keeps it behind to Louis Barré. But what I love about Louis Barré, he stays alive, he's on his feet really quickly. and again he's involved. That's another assist.
Okay, I think France are about to make 6 changes. So first of all, I think they're changing up the front row. So I can see Maxime Lemoc is coming on, as is Rigos Montagne and Rodrigo Netti. There's also changes here for Wales as well. They're making front row changes as well. Nicky Smith and Archie Green making their way onto the field. You have to say that Welsh scrum has held up.
Yeah, they've been pretty solid when they have had scrums. I think there's only been about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Dewi Lake's put on another massive shift, I think, in work rate and carries. You have to give him that.
Yeah, also Ryan Elias on as well. He was not involved last week. He's been coming back from elbow surgery, so this is his first test now since 2024. Big moment for him, but it's from the restart. France had the ball inside of their own 22. Remember, they're playing left to right in this second half. It's now Wales 7, France 40. Also, Tame Plumtree is on for Ollie Cracknell. And when the ball goes up and it's contestable, when it's a French kick through, it always ends up on the side of France. And then when Wales do the same, it always ends up on the side of France, which says a huge amount about how things are going in this fixture. That's not to say that Wales are playing badly all the time here as Montagne crashes through, but France are just playing on a completely different level as it is kicked through by Jalibert, looking for the gather, can't quite get there, his teammate does. France have it inside of the Welsh half, but they're going to come back for a penalty. And that's 2 penalties in a row, so we were playing advantage as well, and they get the second one.
Yeah, it's great play, isn't it, by Jalibert? Seen the space. He's unlucky not to win a bounce of the ball, but again, we spoke about it in terms of that discipline. When you give one a penalty and then you compound it with another, you look where France are, where they started on their own 22. They're in Wales' 22 here, and it's going to be a real tough shift defensively with a very fresh set of front 5.
Yeah, so we've got 2 fresh front rows for either side at the moment. Referee is now waiting for more front rows, not more front rows, more forwards to come on here. So we've got now onto the field Thibaut Flamand, Emmanuel Neafu and also Lemi Nochi all coming onto the field. So that is 6 fresh front rowers for France. And they've got a line out here about 12-13 metres out from the Welsh line. Now sometimes when you bring on replacements, it can just take a little while to settle into the game. Not quite sure if that's going to happen here. So Jégu, who's going the distance, goes down the far side wing. Nice here from France. 5 metres out. They come back inside, but Wales have gathered the ball by accident along the way. It was just an accidental as the ball was touched through. So France get a penalty 7 metres out.
Yeah, there's nothing. They're asking obviously about a yellow card there, but Dav Jenkins is so fast. This play by France. He's not even able to get behind the gain line then. Dupont's just thrown the ball out, and then it's another penalty. That's 3 penalties back to back all the way up the field, isn't it?
Okay, 5 metre line out for France. Wales 7, France 40. Just a reminder that, of course, right now over on Sports Extra, this is Sports Extra 2 you're listening to, but on Sports Extra it is the men's T20 World Cup as France come away and they knock on the ball just in front of the Welsh try line as Thomas Williams sends the ball to this near side. And it's Josh Adams on the ball. Haven't seen him get too much ball so far in this fixture as Plumtree now drives forward. He places the ball backwards.
You're always under pressure. No advantage, lost forward.
And they're going to come back then for a Welsh scrum 5 metres from the Welsh line.
Yeah, I actually really think that's probably the way Wales have got to go. Just try and force those offloads, look for that unstructured play. I know, albeit it's going to suit France to the ground, but Wales at the moment, all they seem to be doing is going 1-2 phase and then kick. So they've got to try and change the picture at the moment. It's too easy for France to defend.
Just seeing Jack Morgan, who's on the screen at the moment. Our colleague Molly Reardon, who's doing the updates on 5 Live today, said she parked near him in the car park and they walked in together. Apparently he's doing all right.
Let's go.
Getting there, but what they would absolutely love to see him today on the field.
Yeah, he makes such a difference. He's world class, isn't he? We obviously saw Taulupe Faletau as well. We could do with him. Obviously epic players for Wales missing, but they're not there at the moment, and these players have really got to stand up, and at the moment we are not seeing that.
Right then, they're packing back down. Producer Victoria also pointing out to me they're with Geraint Thomas as well. Beer in hand. Game meets game. That's what we like. Right then. Ball comes down the Welsh line. what Louis Rees-Zammit would love is just to be able to run with the ball in hand, but he has been so well marked by France this entire game. There's a real scrap going on the floor. Thomas Williams keeps on picking up the ball, and when he gets it, he gets one hand on it and sort of netball passes it back every time because he's getting so frustrated.
Yeah, he's got such a good skill set, isn't he, around that breakdown. He's just handed that was obviously his basketball background. But there is a penalty
on the ground making the tackle.
There is a penalty to Wales, and I bet that you can see how hard France go at that wide breakdown. They're making it such a mess, and when it's slow like that, Wales have no opportunity other than to set up and go for a kick.
We're just watching the replay now.
Number 13 on
Josh
the floor.
Adams was down on the floor, and yeah, we're just seeing it. He almost fell over the ball there, Gaeton, to give away that penalty. And the problem here for Wales is it was so close to the near side touch. They haven't made that much ground up the field. They're only up to their own 10-metre line for the line out.
Yeah. Not too. Obviously, we spoke about earlier changing the 10 early on, and they have. Jared Evans is on.
Okay, we can go.
Big moment then for Jared Evans. There was a lot of discussion that he wasn't involved in that match against England, and you really think he just gives Wales more options?
Yeah, definitely at the line. I think if they do, they will have a period where France will switch off, and Jared is very good at the line, especially that late little pump. Hopefully we get to see him in fruition, just to give Wales that little bit of go forward.
He gets absolutely smashed in his first action. He did a lovely little loop play to offer some disguise, had to take it into action. So there's no first receiver at the moment for Wales as they just try and find their shape. Comes back inside from Alex Mann, who really nicely teams up there with Archie Griffin, who's onto the field now, the replacement tight head. Driven forward this time by Beard. Wales still playing inside of their own half at the moment. Wales 7, France 40. Just waiting to see if these replacements can make an impact for either side. And we've just seen Emmanuel Mayfo, who is just the biggest human in the world, is the easiest way to describe him. 6'8", 22 stone. He just with one hand pushes Welsh players out the way. Such a scary prospect going forward. Again, very still got a long way to go in his career as they break away. Oh, running out of pitch on this near side is Theo Atisogbe. Ramos thinks he's going to go over, but Atisogbe was spending far too long tiptoeing down white paint.
Yeah, you spoke about Miafu's absolute massive hit on the counter. It was followed up by Oscar Jagu, who absolutely ended, I think, Ollie Cracknell, and then that's where the turnover came. Nearly tiptoed down the touchline there, didn't he? Atisogbe, I can never say his name. Atisogbe, that's it. Tiptoeing down that touchline again. He's had a good game, isn't he? Ball in hand, he looks very, very sharp.
Yeah, all that chat about no Damien Penaud in this French squad. At times it's a little bit like Penaud who, but this is the depth in France right now. Atisogbe, 21 years old, scoring a try against Ireland last week, scoring a try against Wales this week. Really impressive stuff. Right then, so they come back to the middle of the field. France have kicked it out on the far side, and they'll line up for this line out 5 metres from the Welsh line. Lamotte waiting to get it in, tight towards the front. Wales did go up to contest, but it still comes back down on the French side. Big arm in there from Beard to slow that down. He's done really well, Adam Beard, to try and stop that. And it is really scrappy for France to get that away. Crossfield kick comes in. Atisogbe is there. It's a bouncing ball. He will touch down. And everything France touches turns to gold. It's another try, a 7th try. It's Wales 7, France 45.
Yeah, it's another unbelievable execution from Jalibert there. It's pretty scrappy, really. It's pretty well held by Wales. You think Nicky Smith is holding Dupont in. Dupont is somehow, he's just flicked it. He's stuck in the maw. He's flicked it out the right hand of his, out the back of his hand to out the back to Jalibert. He picks it up and he's just banged across for a kick. Wales have come really aggressive. Atisogbe has just got to catch him walking in the corner there. It's really, really soft.
What's it like as a wing when you're hanging out there, Alex Cuthbert, and you know you've got one job to do?
Yeah, it's tough because he's in two minds in terms of if they go short and then they'll probably go pick you off, you know, a short ball. But there you've just got to think, right, if that kick is, if they do get out the back and Jalibert has that option kick, you've got an option to go forward but then also go back. So, but if you go forward straight up, you make their decision a lot easier.
Okay, the score now is Wales 7, France 47. I reminded last week that it finished England 48, Wales 7. So we're in the same arena as the scoreline last week. As we can see, Dupont is now going off the field and they're just bringing on Baptiste Serin. But the difference here is there's still 20 minutes to play. What have Wales got to do for this 20 minutes to make them count?
I think they've got to throw everything in terms of, they've obviously looked to kick. Oh, it's another unbelievable line break by Serin.
They come away only onto the field for 1 minute as Baptiste Serin breaks through in his first touch of the ball as he is on. Nocci with the distribution and wearing his white scrum cap. I'm still waiting to see Noah Néné come onto the field. That would also be a French debut. Haven't spotted him just yet, and he can play anywhere in the back line pretty much, with the exception of scrum half. He can play anywhere from 10 to 15, so will slot in when and where required. Ball back and away to Jalibert, who switches direction of play. Nice little touch over the top, and it all goes well. It's too easy for France. Still going, this time through Nocci. He's dragged down. France absolutely delighting inside of the Welsh 22. Big tackle going in on Rees Sammet, just to slow down this French attack. 10 metres out from the Welsh line. You can just feel it building, you can feel it coming. It's an 8th try. Who's it going to be this time? Atis Ogbe, he's on for a hat-trick as it goes towards the left-hand side. Jalibert once again, who's dancing away. Serin down to the floor as La Marseillaise sings out around the Principality again. They've come here in their thousands and they are enjoying their Sunday in the Welsh capital. Their rugby team plays some stunning rugby that continues now 2 metres out from the Welsh line. They drive round the corner. Over the top of it at the moment is Montagne. Miafu is screaming for it as well. They pop, they go, they score. Is that over? No. Not gone over by Netty. Round this time, too easy for Olivon. That's 8 tries, and you just could see it coming a mile off.
Yeah, it's real patience from France. They're just going through the phases, the absolute power. But it all started from Serin off the kickoff. I think he's caught it real deep inside his 22. Dummied kick, he's gone straight through Wales' defence line, and that's the killer. That's it there, just to get in behind Wales' back line and get into the 22. And it's just patience, power, pure power, like said Miafu. And Olivion, his work rate has been amazing, just to finish off a little pop pass from Serin to score.
I almost feel that Charles Olivier is having a renaissance of sorts. You know, playing in the second row now, absolutely enormous man, a former skipper, but he just doesn't seem to be slowing down.
He's an absolute machine in terms of his work rate. You see him in the wide channels. He's got that link up with Gilliard as well at second row. Those two, I think they've been the biggest difference this campaign early on. You've seen how, look at the French fans, they're jumping up and down. They are absolutely loving this. They've just got that synergy between each and every player. They've got so many combinations, and when they get it right, it's literally unplayable.
Just as the French fans, though, were taking over the Principality Stadium, bouncing up and down on their feet. They put a big shot up on the TV screens of Albert Tierney, the chief exec of the WRU.
Use the ball!
Suffice to say, she wasn't smiling. They also know the task ahead of them. So many questions being asked of Welsh rugby right now, but I'm not sure what team in the Six Nations is going to have answers to this French team. They are something special, and I don't think some of this can be pointed at the WRU when a side is that good.
That's as good.
As the ball comes out towards this near side for Wales, a bit of fight being put in by Eddie James on this near side, driven on by Nicky Smith. Jared Evans just providing that zip in that Welsh back line to get play going again. Thomas Williams decides to suck play back down this near side wing, dragged forward once again by James. And Wales nearly up to the French 22. They're fighting here, Wales. This is what the Welsh public want to see. Fight, heart, ambition, proof that they can play at this highest level. Wonderful run through by Jenkins. Wales rearrange. They want it. They're screaming for it. Going forward. 10 metres left to go to the French line. This is good stuff from Wales. They can play. They can do this. Push towards the near side. The crowd get behind them. Here's the last pass towards the near side to James. Cuts back inside. He's not there yet. 1 metre to go. Driven over the top. Is that the try? No. It's been lost forward in the final centimetre. That is crushing absolutely crushing. That's the best passage of play from Wales this entire second half. It was stunning. It deserved a try.
It really did. The intent, the speed, the aggression. Eddie James, 3-4 carries down his touchline, bowling French defenders right at the end. Josh Adams looks for that pick and go, and he's just lost it forward.
On the goal line,
agonisingly close. So unlucky, but that is the intent we want to see in the carry, the clean. We saw how many times they clean past France. They can't get round. They beat them around the corner.
Okay, there's a quick change here for France. Miaflu is making his way off, and Michael Guillard is having to come back on. I can only assume that's for an HIA. So Miaflu, I think he's actually got the flashing light on his gum shield, which is why he's going off the field. So he'll go and get checked. So Michael Guillard looks like he's going to have to play a little bit more. He's probably enjoying his little sit down, but not to be. As we can just see, Miaflu is making his way down the tunnel now to go and have his head injury assessment. Right, Wales 7, France 54. 63 minutes played. If you're just joining us here on Sports Extra 2, there was just an incredible passage of play from Wales in this second half. We've tried not to be down on Wales because so much of that scoreline is just brilliance from France. There's no two ways about it. Any of the Six Nations sides are going to find France such a handful. Don't forget that Ireland went down to them last week 36-14. As the ball comes away from a French scrum 5 metres from their own line, and they've got down to 10 metres away. Serrat is looking for an opportunity for an exit. Pushes the ball round the corner. Jalibert is just hanging back, waiting for his opportunity. Is Saran going to go for the box kick? Yes, he is. And he comes towards this near side play. It will go out. Josh Adams is there. They think about taking the quick one, but they'll calmly wait for the line out.
Yeah, real good scrum from Wales there. They really went after the French one there. They made it a right mess, and good opportunity here on French the 10-metre line. And we haven't seen, this opportunity much over this game. Can they execute the start of play and really just stress France?
Ball comes down for Wales. Nice communication in the centres. That's what Wales want, that communication between Joe Hawkins and Eddie James. They play together at Scarlets, and this is still going, but it's loose. Wales need to get back to their feet, fight again. France have it inside their own 22. Jalibert sends it clear down the end of the field. Tracking back is Jared Evans. And he's got Baptiste Serrat, who is starting to close him down. Passes it away in the end to Rees-Zammit, who's going to go on a darting run. That's a big call by Rees-Zammit if he doesn't break away. Interesting decision by Rees-Zammit. He's got to learn, if he's going to play fullback, sometimes as much as you want to run, as quick as you are, you've got to clear from these positions.
Yeah, you just got to give your forwards a bit of a break. Kick that long as you can out into touch, and just give those forwards a bit of a break. They've had to run 30 yards back there to source that breakdown.
Yeah, as the ball comes down, ends up in the hands there of Atis Ogbe. Referee happy that nothing's gone forward there. France in possession inside of the Welsh half. As we get to see Netty on the ball to lose prop. Had to take a long time, but it's a breakaway here from Wales as they go back inside of the French half. Little bit isolated, but enough players do arrive to break back through. Distribution down the line. Evans on the ball, almost tries to disguise his pass, but have to say really well read there by Montang, who eventually scragged Evans and said, "You shall not go forward, man." Wales at the right end of the field, but need to make it count. We've had a nice few attacking sets here, and as soon as I say that, holding on the floor.
Yeah, they just lost their shape in the middle of the field. They got stuck. France defended really well. Jared Evans is really good at the line, but he's just got no one to get that little pop, real late pass. He's trying to dummy pump and get someone through the gap. Eddie James has got really into the game, hasn't he? The last 5-10 minutes, has a number of carries. A little bit isolated there, though.
I'm going to say this really quietly because I'm really nervous about saying it, okay? From 66 minutes, Wales 7, France 54. Tame Plumtree has been on the field for around 10 minutes and he hasn't given away a yellow card yet.
Yep. Why is he 100%? Is he?
He's had 3 yellows in a row for Wales.
Well, there's still plenty of time to go.
Yeah. So I just really hope for him he can hold it. Right, big moment then for Noah Nene. He is coming onto the field for his France debut. Just looking to see, right, looks like he's going to slot in at 13. So Gaetan makes his way off. He's enjoyed his afternoon with his section powwow teammates, but it is now the turn of Noah Nene, who's been playing at Stade Francais, to step up.
Give you the numbers, don't run in. It is 4.
Stade Francais currently 5th in the top 14 table. Still Toulouse and Pau who are at the top there. Pau, section Pauward, same thing in case you do get confused if that one catches you out sometimes. In the rugby community we do talk about both as being the same team, and so much talk in French rugby circles about how much that Pau academy is producing incredible players right now. As the ball comes away for France, a little touch through Atis Ogbe's on for the hat-trick but can't quite connect with the final passage, and they will come back.
They'll have a look at this. He has half celebrated. Whether he got that down is surely not.
Right now I'm at goal line dropout.
Okay, they are waiting to have a look at this. Atis Ogbe has knocked it off.
Okay, stay behind.
Close though, wasn't it?
Was close.
That was a great effort.
Very close. Okay, no hat trick for Atis Ogbe as it stands. Still 8 tries though for France. And we've got a goal line dropout for Wales. Wales 7, France 54. Don't forget, we don't get a break in the Six Nations next week. We go straight through into round 3, then it's the rest week 4 rounds 4 and 5 as Noah Nene is breaking away down that left-hand wing. Ball has gone forwards. We're playing advantage now to Wales as Reece Samet needs to pass that ball away, manages to find support out towards Adams, who goes back towards support. Really smart run there by Adams to ensure that Wales don't lose this ball, but it's turned over ball by France. As much as Wales secured that, it's too much securing and not playing. As they come away, Nene, he's a big man, isn't he? Really big.
Yeah, very sharp. That was they might have a look at that. That looked pretty high.
Okay, loose ball on the floor. Baptiste Saran is there, can't get the last pass away. Wainwright is there though, manages to give the ball back into the middle of the field as Eddie James is absolutely smashed for his efforts. Sometimes when you're the nearest to the ball, the last thing you want to do is pick it up because you know what's coming.
Yeah, trying to explain this is like watching a touch game on a Monday, isn't it? It's end-to-end, offloads galore.
Stay on.
No one wants to be tackled.
Use the ball.
Their GPS trackers are doing some work today is what you want to know. The meters they will have both made on both sides. I mean, they are going to be off the charts.
Yeah, I feel like the ball and play, I think it'd be pretty high. I think this is going to be definitely plus 40 minutes, which is really, really high for an international game.
And I have to say the quality, as much as if you are looking at this and joining us late and saying Wales 7, France 54, if you think about how few scrums we have had, that shows you how little the ball has gone down to the deck. Those connections have been happening.
Yeah, the amount of offloads from France, everything sort of clicked. It was only the odd 1 or 2 times early in the first half where France looked like scoring and they tried the wonderful offloads, but it's been so good to watch. Absolute quality throughout.
Kieran Hardy is now on a scrum half here for Wales. And Wales, they've come away with the ball here. Really nice move as Hardy with the distribution goes back down the middle. Eddie James with a little kick through again. Those are the sort of things that just aren't coming off for Wales. Plumtree has to slide down the back there of Nene as he tries to get the ball in away and through. Oh, silly penalty for Nene to give away. Hardy passes back inside, still going forward. The last connection's not there. Plumtree manages to bat the ball back. Eventually ends up in the hands there of Jenkins. Wales attacking inside of the French 22. They need to come away with points. They've been here a few times in this second half. They deserve a try. They really do. We're not being condescending. We're not giving them a consolation prize. There's been some good rugby, and when you're in these positions, you need points. As France are over the top there, they need to stop touching the ball. That was nearly a penalty. Still being broken through. This time it's Jared Evans. 10 metres left to go. Loose ball, lost forward by Wales. We restart with a French scrum.
Yes, it's again really good play for Wales. They're real threatening down the short side of France, but just a skill error, isn't it? The last pass at the moment isn't quite making it. France are working incredibly hard in tackles. They've actually made more tackles than Wales. We're looking at some stats here, aren't we? Which is incredible, really. It just shows, I guess, the lack of sort of quality in Wales' attack and actually stressing France.
I think part of that, when you look at that, is the dominant tackles, 4 for Wales, 14 for France. That shows a whole physical story.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, I think that's one of the big talking points. I think there's 34 tries in 5 games for Steve. I know there's a couple of blowouts, but for me, the basis of a team and how you build is on defence and everything after that. And I think that moment Wales haven't quite grasped that.
Well, this has been an enjoyable game. There has been moments where Wales can certainly hang their hat. The scoreline doesn't look good. We know that. We're not stupid. But there has been moments where Wales can prove they can mix it. They just can't mix it for the full 80 is the problem. And France, they are something else right now. They come away with the ball from their own scrum inside of the Welsh 22. And a man on debut, Fabien Brau-Boiret, has done some very impressive things. He's taken his opportunity with two hands to be given the blue shirt and show that he can be in the mix as a regular for this France side.
Okay, use the ball.
And that'll be what makes other sides jealous, is the depth that France have right now. As the ball comes down the field, lands 10 metres inside of Welsh territory. Rees-Zammit pushes towards the right wing. Just try and decide what they're going to do through Eddie James. He goes down to ground over the halfway. Evans back towards Mann. Really nice work there with Wainwright on his shoulder. Hardy. Evans again. This is nice from Wales as soon as I say that. They lose the ball forward in the tackle. France have it and they're just putting the foot down. The gas is being racked up. How they offload. Now I think that last pass was forward. I don't know if they're going to go back and check it, but the way they can offload in a tackle is stunning.
Well, I think that's definitely forward, but just the audacity to try it from Fabien Brau-Boiret. He's had a really good game. What a classy player he is. Both of them, both play for Pau, both from them the 20s, which shows the depth and it's actually working coming through. But he's got the ball, he's facing the wrong way, and he's still just trying to do a little pop pass to Bielbiarri on the wing. If it came off, it was absolutely sublime.
Okay, the contenders for the player of the match is Charles Ollivon, Jalibert, Louis Bielbarré and also Atis Ogbe. I mean, there's a lot of backs in there, and when they've scored 8 tries, it's hard to look beyond the backs, but it's that hard work done by the forwards that often gives the platform for the backs to do their thing. Yeah,
I think defensively as well, the forwards have worked incredibly hard, and the amount of attacks they've had off that defence. So, they don't get that. That's the best opportunity to get transition, and that's where this back line in France come alive, is off those turnovers or knock-ons or big hits, turnovers and tap-backs and kicks. So, yeah, I'm not sure who'd be man of the match, but Jalibert, for me, would be pretty up there.
57,744 is the number of the crowd inside the Principality. That's the lowest ever Six Nations crowd in Cardiff. The previous ever smallest crowd was 58,349. That was against Italy in 2002.
Just take it behind
that will be a concern. A big concern. I'm going to let you have a chew there. I don't know if you listened to the commentary between Scotland and England yesterday. Have you been caught out by the mini eggs, Alex Cuthbert?
Not quite as bad as Johnny.
Okay. All right then.
No, but yeah, that really is. I think it's just we're not sure if people are sort of voting with their feet, obviously with the off-field problems with the regions and so forth. But I've never seen a stadium quite as, I guess, not quite as packed, especially in the Six Nations.
Yeah.
This is the best tournament in the world, for me.
It really is. You can't ever take away how brilliant this tournament is, how it delivers year on year, and even now in these moments Wales are fighting out there. They might not have turned up in quite the numbers they had previously, but there is still heart in this Welsh team as they kick the ball through. It ends out of play on the far side,
the ball is live. Get behind
and it will be a France put-in on the far side. And I have to say, we have left an awful lot in this last 20 minutes. You really do feel that Wales deserve the points here. They need to execute.
Yeah, you say deserve, but I think they're just lacking that real quality at the end, aren't they? In terms of how clinical France were when they do have the opportunity, they work it. Jalibert, bang, pulls the trigger, and everything just seems to be on the money. Wales, they really work it well. They give themselves an opportunity. Bang, skill error or ill discipline just lets them down. That's the two sides. That's the difference between these two sides at the moment. Where if you look at the, conversion rate in the 22, France must be near 100%, whereas Wales, I think they've only got one opportunity. They've scored only one opportunity, haven't they, from a good number of opportunities in the 22.
Mathieu Jalibert is announced as the Six Nations player of the match, and when you consider his personal story of having to be behind Romain Ntamack, he really is proving himself as a skilled operator as the ball comes away from Wales. 4 metres left to go, 1 metre left to go to the French line. Can they convert this position? Can they have the patience? Rhys Carré did it in the first half. Alex Mann drives on now. We're back into the alpha test once again. Hardy tries to snipe round, absolutely smashed, needs to present the ball backwards. Calm heads required by Wales here. We've got penalty advantage now to Wales. A metre out from the line. Huge tackles raining down. Blue on red. Tane Plumtree over.
Held up.
Now, they said that's held up.
Offside.
Not sure if they're going to go back and check that.
Let it up. I've made my decision. The ball is up. Held up. Offside back here.
Tane Plumtree doesn't seem to be in any way upset with that. But they've got the penalty to come back for.
Yeah, I love that. Referee makes decisions straight away. Keep the game going. Still, Wales are battering that door. You've got to give it to France. Great defence set.
Ryan Elias. This is how Wales scored in the first half. The Principality comes to its feet to will their side over for another try, another penalty advantage. That will be surely a yellow card. The clock is nearly gone. Reece Sammut needs to pass the ball. He does. It will be touchdown in the corner. Mason Grady onto the field. Wales get their reward for so much hard graft. It is now Wales 12, France 54, conversion to come, and they're still having a chat with France, who could have had a yellow card there.
Yeah, it wasn't far off yellow card, but yep, Wales can play. That's great execution. We spoke about it. Can they give that quality right at the end there? And it was. Reece Sammut had the opportunity to probably go on the outside. He steps Bielbiari, and a great pass to Mason Grady, who scores in the corner. And it's probably, they've at least deserved that, I think, in terms of their intent and their endeavour the last 15 minutes anyway.
Jared Evans takes the conversion. Oh, has he just scraped that one through? No, the flag stayed down. And so it means Wales 12, France 54. We do have time for a restart. And we've got a minute and a half to play here at the Principality. So Wales have got 2 tries. And it'll be really interesting to see how France assess this fixture, because they have played this at a million miles an hour.
I know there's only 1 minute to play.
I really want to see France play South Africa again. There's no two ways about it. I know the Six Nations is amazing. I know, please, no complaints. But I do want to see them play again.
Yeah, it would be good, wouldn't it? The battle South Africa, they'd obviously come up with a couple of plans to stop them trying to win that transition. That kick battle would be the biggest thing, I think, for me against the two sides.
Okay, minutes to play. France are going to win here. They're going to be topping the Six Nations table tonight. They're going to be the only team left to be on for a slam after round 2. Everyone has been beaten. Wales well beaten again, but there are flashes, there are moments to be proud of in this fixture, and the penalty count has been down. That's a big one. It was only 9 penalties today. If you consider what happened at Twickenham last week, this has been a step up. I know we're not being condescending when we say that. There has been a shift. Not as big as many would like, but there has been one. Right, ball's down on the floor. It's France ball, and they're 10 metres inside of Welsh territory. Olivon drives on. How much ball has he taken today? They're winding down the clock here, France. Just want to make sure they want to get through these next few passages of play. No injuries, no problems, as they will roll forwards ahead of them taking on Italy next week at home. That one, of course, will be on a Sunday. They're playing that one in Lille as they push towards the left-hand side of the field, as we see Le Marseillaise sing out once again. And Louis Bielbiari has put a foot in touch, and that will be the match. Right, it is all over at the Principality, and France have just flexed again. The only team on for a slam after round 2. It finishes Wales 12, France 54. They went over for 8 tries in total. Wales need to get 2 of their own, 1 in each half. Alongside me, Alex Cuthbert. Before we go off air, first of all, a word on France.
Yeah, absolutely incredible, especially our first 30 minutes. I thought some of that ball in play, they were just unbelievable. They showed all aspects of game, whether it was that physicality, then bang into that flair that they've got. And yeah, for me, they're obviously looking like the favourites, but I will say they have played Wales and Ireland, who are both in a little bit of turmoil.
Let's move on to Wales. They're going to be welcoming Scotland here next week. Did you see a shift from that performance against England last week?
I think I saw bits. I thought we stayed in the fight a little bit longer. What I won't like is just how easy some of the tries were from France, and we see the way Scotland attack. They are really going to exploit us. I do think we'll score points against Scotland, because they're a team that concede, but if we need to be way more physical in defence, whether we come with that line speed and try and nullify, because Finn Russell sometimes is undefendable, so that'll be an interesting battle.
And how concerned are you? I said the attendance here at the Principality, 57,744, the lowest ever for a Six Nations game. Now, that match wasn't as painful to watch as perhaps what Welsh rugby fans watched when they watched the England match in round one. Do you think they will come out in bigger numbers for the Scotland game?
I really hope so, because as a Welsh player, you dream of playing in the stadium, packed out, and I've only ever known the stadium to be absolutely rammed, and no one could get a ticket. And I feel so sorry for these lads that they're not able to play in front of a packed house. Whether people are speaking with their feet in terms of the off-field ongoings with the regions, but take that away. You are supporting your country. This is Welsh rugby, and rugby is in Wales at the top, the pinnacle, and I don't think we are looking at it like that at the moment.
Well, of course, next week it will also be on a Saturday, which can also make a difference. Wales against Scotland is the 4:40 kickoff. Sometimes when a match is on a Sunday, it can slightly change habits. Some people just like a nice roast dinner at home.
Yeah, half term as well. I do know a lot of people on holiday. So
there you go. Right then, that is it from us here at the Principality Stadium. Flashes there from Wales, still a big defeat, but not quite the 73-0 that we saw against South Africa the last time that they played here. They are going to have a difficult Six Nations, but are there just a few green shoots that we can see there? Alex Cuthbert, thank you so much for your time. We have witnessed a French masterclass. They are top of the Six Nations table, resplendent with 10 points. They are number one for now, and next week they will take on Italy. Full time here at the Principality. Wales 12, France 54.